Hi guys, I don't know where to begin with this clip. A lady who goes by the nickname Chief Gammon, I kid you not, was invited on to GB News to talk about asylum seekers. I don't know who this person is. Now, she spent the first minute talking about school kids crossing the road or something, and then she attacked the French president, claiming that either Brexit didn't happen because the French didn't want it, or that it did happen but the French are angry about it. Frankly, it doesn't make any sense to me. Please help me out here because it melted my brain. Have a listen to this.
Why isn't anybody saying anything to France?
But you know what? You know why France are doing this, though, June. I mean, this is great for Macron, isn't it? He wants to do anything he possibly can to damage a post-Brexit Britain.
Well, everything is geared up to damaging Brexit. It was never going to be allowed to work. So anyone who's...
What do you mean? It was never going to be allowed to work? Who was going to stop it from working? The EU isn't even talking about Brexit anymore. The French are not talking about Brexit. The only people talking about Brexit are in the UK.
Judging the current economy on Brexit, what I say is go and have a bloody Beecham's powder, because it's nothing to do with Brexit. It's to do with locking us down for 2.5 years. You don't recover from that overnight.
No,
and
indeed.
Brexit? What Brexit?
So, wait a minute. So, Brexit was delivered or Brexit was not delivered? Which is it? She started out here by saying, we can't get our Brexit because of the French. Now she's saying, well, that we couldn't get a Brexit because of the lockdowns. So there wasn't a real Brexit because of lockdowns, and then it's nothing to do with Brexit.
We've never been allowed. We've gone straight from Brexit to lockdown. 3 months we've been out of the EU before we were locked down. How can you even sensibly judge that? I spoke to the Port of Calais, I spoke to the Port of Southampton, I spoke to P&O Ferries, I spoke to Nissan, I rang them up, I asked them, are you going to close your plant down? I pretended to be a little old lady who was worried about her grandson's apprenticeship, because I couldn't work out how you could take on apprenticeships when you're supposedly closing down. And she actually said, well, that's just upstairs, that's what they want you to think, because they don't want Brexit.
How many people actually believe that? How many people actually believe that she pretended to be a little old lady calling up the Nissan plant and she was speaking to somebody at reception saying, are there apprenticeships? And this person said, yes, but I thought you were closing down. Well, we're not closing down because those upstairs wanted Brexit, wanted to stop Brexit. Which is it? I don't even know why I'm actually asking this question.
Come on! We've been lied to and scammed now since 2015 with the mainstream media, EU flags waving all over the telly to give you the psychological impression that everybody wants to stay in Europe. I had a house in Europe. I had the EHIX card, the pet passport. I should have been a Remainer. Why did I vote? I voted for my country. I voted because I knew we'd be better as a sovereign nation. The people are sovereign, not the politicians.
What the hell does that mean? The people are sovereign, not the politicians? And you voted to take away your own rights? Okay, if you wanted to take away privileges that you already had, you wanted to take away those privileges, that's fine. But you took them away from other people as well. You took the possibility for younger people to have easier access to studying abroad, working abroad. You took that away from them. For what? For sovereignty? I would love for this woman to define sovereignty.
They seem to forget that. And
well,
I
indeed.
think that
and June, what do you make of what has happened over the past month? Because, of course, the mainstream media has moved on, but I haven't forgotten, you haven't forgotten, that there has actually been a Remoaner coup.
Now, this is where Dan Wootton baits people. Look, I don't believe that Dan Wootton is an idiot. I believe that Dan Wootton knows which buttons to press on these people. And we were talking at the beginning of this interview, they were talking about asylum. And now they're talking about Remainer or Remoaner coups taking place. He's just baiting her into reacting in this way. He's quite good at it. I have to compliment him for that. I don't believe for a second he actually believes this rubbish, but he knows that these people do, and he knows which buttons to press.
Within our government, Jeremy Hunt, who wanted a second referendum. He wants us back in the single market. He's the Chancellor none of us asked for, Jude. So it's very hard to believe that this is anything other than a specific globalist ploy now for Brexit to fail. So
what has Jeremy Hunt said about Brexit since he became Chancellor? What has Rishi Sunak said about Brexit since he became Prime Minister, apart from when he was in the House of Commons and he said, we delivered Brexit? But what specifically has he said? He has said nothing. The Chancellor has said nothing about Brexit. The mini-budget was not even related to Brexit. The undoing of the mini-budget had nothing to do with Brexit. So why are you talking about Brexit here, and why are you suggesting that, obviously this is just baiting, but if he's not baiting, why are you talking about the position Jeremy Hunt had in 2016? How is that relevant to what he's doing today? Unless there's something related to Brexit, but there's nothing. I can't find anything that Jeremy Hunt is doing now that is in any way connected to Brexit.
So that they can say, oh, we're just going to have to go back into the single market by the time Keir Starmer's Prime Minister. Do you agree?
Absolutely agree, 100%. No matter what I think about Boris Johnson and Partygate, I saw it as good news because I thought, result, it's safe. Would have been talking about the deaths and the destruction.
Why is it that people who supported Brexit tend to be people who didn't think the pandemic was something to worry about? I really don't understand the connection there. Is it because people who still believe Brexit is a good idea are not able to think? This is a question. I'm not suggesting that they can't. But why is there this overlap between people who still believe that Brexit is a good idea and believe that the pandemic either was nothing to worry about or that the lockdown was worse than the pandemic itself?
And the hospitalisations, if hugging and kissing and dancing wasn't safe, but it's safe so you can stick your lockdown where the sun don't shine, because you ain't locking me down again, and I don't even go out that much. As far as I'm concerned, what's gone on here is Boris Johnson was the only conduit to getting us out of the EU.
Boris Johnson promised to get Brexit done. We're still talking about Brexit. Businesses are still struggling because of Brexit. The Northern Ireland Protocol is still an issue, and it's a consequence of Brexit. So what has happened? Either Boris Johnson didn't get Brexit done, or Boris Johnson is lying. Which is it? This person is an advocate for Boris Johnson and saying that Boris Johnson is the one who got Brexit done. But then why are we still talking about Brexit?
And at the end of the day, if he stopped listening to his wife's pillow talk politics and put the green agenda back on page 54 and carried on.
I have to ask, is this person real? Honestly, is this person real? Is this a prank? Is this an attempt to troll the public? I don't know who this person is. Jane something or June something, I don't know. But really, is this a joke? Is this a parody? I know GB News is beyond the pale, but does this person really believe what she's saying? You know, does she end the call and when they end the recording, do they have a bit of a laugh about it and go, do you think they believe me? Yeah, you were really convincing.
With what he was tasked to do, would have been okay. But oh no, they can't back off. This is a Remainiac coup, and you are Remainiacs because you are ignoring democracy. Whether you like it, you didn't. What you've got to remember is everybody who voted for Brexit didn't like being in the EU. But what did we do for 20 odd years? Me as an adult for 30 odd years. I got on with my job, I got on with my work, I run my home, and I didn't moan.
What are you doing now? You're moaning about people. You're complaining about Remainers or Remoaners or she just said here, what did I do when we're in the EU? I didn't moan about anything. I find that difficult to believe because, you wanted out. So there was some reason why you wanted out. She said something about sovereignty. I don't know if she actually believes and understands what she's saying. But Now she's complaining, and she's saying, these damn Remoaners, these people complaining all the time. You know, why can't they be happy with the Brexit that we forced upon them, that we told them it would be wonderful and that they're struggling? Why can't they just, you know, be happy with that? Why can't they be just happy that they have fewer rights and fewer protections? Why can't they be happy that it's more difficult for them to trade? Why can't they be happy that their businesses are struggling because they can't get the workers they need? They just need to shut up and be like us, you know, always happy.
I just got on with it. I didn't like being in it. I just got on with it.
Exactly.
But guess what? We voted for Brexit. We're not allowed that. Oh, no. You've got it wrong. You're thick. You're a gammon.
Yep.
I'm not thick. Many people would like to be a pound behind me because of the way my brain goes.
You have...
I think here is the stage where the baiter he couldn't hold it in any longer, and he laughed at her as well. So... at the end of this, I don't know. Was Brexit delivered or was it not? Was it taken away? Was it stopped? Or did Boris Johnson actually deliver it? I don't know. I'm as confused now as I was at the beginning, maybe even more so. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.